Nobody's happy when people are dying around you. Nobody's happy when you wake up and you hear bad news all over. And that is why I said it's an essential problem. And for me, who happen to be in public life, it is more painful. Why is it more painful? We are suffering in midst of plenty. Nigeria, Africa have no reason to be poor. We have no reason to be associated with poverty. God in his evening messages gave us everything, blessed us, everything we need to be great. But he gave us people like me who are also incompetent, mean, and have refused to work for the people. All of us, so don't exclude any politician. All of us have turned the whole place into a crime scene where people are stealing what they don't need. Because if they need it, it's a different thing. But they don't need it. And I'm telling you authoritative because I have served. So nobody will say Peter Obi is saying what he doesn't know. I know it. And it is important that people understand it. Chairman, I know I'm taking your time, but a few more minutes. I know and I mean it. And that's why I try to educate those of you who are in church. This is not politics. Yesterday, I was in a book launch in Ogoni. Book launch. Some of you will see it in the TV. And I said to them, we are going to apologize to Niger Delta people, whom we have been sharing their money for oil for 20-something, for 50, for 100 years, without anything to show for it. We must go and apologize to them. Because we wasted everybody's time with their resources. If you go where we get oil from, you will cry. Is this where we got the oil? They have nothing apart from their land that is devastated and spoiled and cannot be used for anything. And we are sharing the money. You go anywhere in the north, today is crime everywhere. But what do I see? Poverty everywhere. You cannot create poverty and be secured. You look at it everywhere. God gave us oil. He's not helping us. God gave us land. He's not helping us. Today, we are the capital of poverty in the world. We are just 240 million estimated. But we have more people living in poverty in our country than the two biggest countries of the world in population combined. China at 1.4 billion and India at 1.4 billion combined is 2.8 billion people, but we have more people living in poverty than two of them combined. We are among the hungriest country of the world, to the extent that Ukraine, that is at war, you might not know, gave Nigeria grain to fight poverty, to fight hunger. They are at war. And they gave us grain. They gave Nigeria a gift. I'm telling you, everything I hear is documented so you can verify it. They don't show grain, but they're at war. And we are walking around. When the whole of northern Nigeria is about 750 something square kilometers of land.
He is not desperate to be president. He is desperate to see Nigeria work. And his admirers are beginning to remind him that if you want to see where a lot of dreams exist, but never materializes. It is in the graveyard. When you go to burial ground, you will see so many dreams that died and buried in those graves. You can't make anything happen, okay, if you don't become president. Nobody's going to do that for you. You would have to have the fighting spirit that indeed millions of people and their future depends on that, right? So you have to be more kind of like, I said that before, that you have to be more brutish. You have to be more brutal with these guys. But others are like, no, it's not desperate to be president. Let those who are desperate keep fighting to be president. And others are like, why, if Obi is not desperate to be president to save these millions of people he talks about all the time and he worries for all the time, yeah, then there is no point in keep talking to them. Because there are those who believe that he has the chance to become your president, but he just needs to, I don't know, yeah. Emir of Kano has something to say about that, by the way. The Nigeria you want and not the one they are forcing on you. Because the Nigeria you have right now is the Nigeria of Tifnumbu, and that's what you're going to have for another decade after your 2027, as it is being plotted, right? So let's hear the Emir before we continue with the, what do you call them? The ADC coalition, talking about why Obi is here to join them.
Thank you, Yemi, for the invitation. Yesterday, I and Yemi and Achedo and a few friends were at a dinner. And I said to her, can you guarantee that tomorrow I will not be involved in any controversy? She said she couldn't. And as you can see, the compare has tried to wind me up. I must say quite unsuccessfully, because I came very determined not to say anything controversial and to follow the footsteps of my good neighbor, Omobola Johnson, and the bishop. For me, enough is enough, and other movements are a critical component of civil society. And if you go back to great political scientists and thinkers like Antonio Gramsci, you will know that nations collapse when civil society gets into political society. Political society depends on force and coercion, but it also manufactures consent. It gradually co-opts the media, the judiciary, the police, the organic intellectuals, the religious and traditional institutions into its projects, and soon there is no position taken, there is no ideological alternative to the system that political society seeks to create. So, I do not know if I'm speaking as a traditional ruler. I don't think traditional rulers are supposed to speak radically, so I'm speaking as Muhammad Sanusi, okay? So, it's a combination of all sorts, or you can think of it as SLS, okay? So, that's, but the important thing for me is that as citizens, each and every one of us will remember that the nation belongs to us. It does not belong to the government. It does not belong to politicians. It does not belong to, it belongs to us. We own this country. And wherever we find ourselves, we must remember that we are holding one small part of Nigeria. And we have a duty to do what we must to contribute our own quota to this country. We also, when people say enough is enough, I remember a very common question, when do we know what is enough? And this is something you ask politicians. When is enough enough? When do we come to the realization that perhaps we have done enough damage to this country? We have done enough damage, and maybe we need to stop. And I think this is the point Obama is making about missed opportunities. Not just missed opportunities, I think sometimes deliberately missed opportunities. And the reason we miss these opportunities is because we have people who think public office is about themselves, it's about their families, it's about people who are close to them, it's not about the country, it's not about the citizens. So Yemi and the entire Enough is Enough team, please be assured that you have people in different strata in society, among traditional institutions, among religious leaders, in the business community, even among the politicians who are fed up with the way things have gone. And what we need to do is try to come together and articulate a clear and achievable ideological position, a vision for what kind of Nigeria we want to have. And just the Nigeria.
Guess what? You heard things like that. You have these symposiums organized where the supposed, experts, opinion molders, and the rest of them to come together and provide solution to what they have identified as main problems of Nigeria's stagnation. Everybody talks about it. Only later you realize that every one of them, every group, every civil society, they appear that they are pretty much like objective and all that. They are all working for the same person, Tinubu. I've seen that happen many times. So you're going to see a lot of events organized by some known organizations, many unknown organizations. You're going to see A-listers who are going to be their guests, speakers and all of that, talking about Nigeria, talking about opportunities, talking about missed opportunities, talking about political corruption, this, and talking about election, how election should be, the blah, the blah. Now later, I'm going to say all of them are all working for the same man. Call you, in case if you have not been paying attention. Just thought I should put that in your head. Yeah, because you're going to find out later, like you did find out when your 2023 was coming, and then afterward, right? And then everybody started kind of like switching and acting like you made them like a Tifnumbu, because you've all been criticizing everybody that supports Tifnumbu. That's why I had to go and support Tifnumbu. Because of you. Meanwhile, they've always been, those ones you see on the radio, on TV, those ones who appeared like a columnist on newspapers, they are all going to be shaping your mind slowly and slowly, and you are all being led to the same slaughterhouse, And the ADC that feels like it could be an alternative are also in a dilemma. Their main target, Peter Obi, seems like it's not coming. And what does that mean generally? Somebody asked their spokesperson, Bolaji Abdullahi. He was on a news central, and then this conversation happened. Please watch.
But why do you think Mr. Peter Obi is stalling?
I wouldn't know. Maybe you need. That's a question that you need to ask Mr. Peter Obi himself, because while we're trying to build a coalition, the agreement was that everybody was going to join the coalition, and he himself agreed that he was going to be part of the coalition. And some of us were particularly impressed the day he himself and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar separately vowed that regardless of what happened, they are they are part of the coalition. So we're all excited and all that. Then when it came to leaving the legacy parties, His Excellency Peter Obi and Senator Nasiru El-Rufai asked for more time for them to conclude the elections in their respective legacy parties. That is the ABGA and SDP respectively. The elections in Kaduna, the by-elections in Kaduna have been concluded, and Nasiru El-Rufai had done what he promised to do, which was to register for ADC. The election in Anambra is done, so we also expect that His Excellency Peter Obi will do what he promised to do. So we are a bit, it's like throwing us a curveball when we are hearing conversations like, oh, the coalition is not stable because we are not addressing the issue of zoning and all that. So we believe that some of these issues maybe there are information that are available to him that's.
Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi, can you hear me? We seem to have lost connection with you. You've of course have asked His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi to take a stand, join the party. Is there a time frame for this wait?
No, there is no time frame. But
so you are saying it can continue maybe even into the next election. It can continue to consult.
He has the freedom to decide how he wants to run his politics. For us, we have a party to build, we have a party to run, we'll continue to do what we need to do. We'll be happy for him to make a firm commitment to the coalition. But if he doesn't want to, this democracy, you can't force anybody. People have the right to say, okay, I thought I could be part of this, but I don't want to be part of it anymore for whatever reason. That is fine, but we have to continue to move on. But I'm telling you, as I speak to you this evening, I'm confident that His Excellency Peter Obi is part of the coalition. He's still part of the coalition. He's a gentleman. He has not told us anything different from what he has told us, regardless of what is playing out in the media, because sometimes politicians also say some things to pander to their followership, regardless of what they know to be the truth or what they want to, how they portray themselves behind closed doors. There are a lot of conversations that still happening.
So you think Mr. Peter Obi is stalling? You think Mr. Peter Obi might just be stalling just to pander to his followership, just like you have insinuated?
No, I don't think so. I was just saying that there are different levels of conversations, and some of them, one public conversation is just one level. There are other levels of conversation that are not in the public domain. Right. So I'm saying that sometimes people make conversations in public to pander to public opinion or to pander to public desire without necessarily, meaning that they are stalling or going back on what they have promised to do.
So the bottom line is that the only spark missing in their coalition right now is Peter Obi. Yeah, it would have to be. Then there's been questions around the credibility of the people who are forming the coalition, and how the same people that Peter Obi called, den of criminals, they would have to mingle with them, but at what cost? Would that just be that they will give him their tickets, or is just have to join them in order to give them credibility to some extent? And I don't know. I'm just saying. All right. So nobody knows what Obi himself is up to, but it is already confirmed, indeed, that Obi will be leaving Labour Party soon, and when he leaves, it is like he's also going to be living with Alex Otti. Yeah, it was with Alex Otti, I think it was yesterday, in what was believed to be a consultation around their move before the end of the year. That hasn't been verified, so don't hold on to it. Just an information that, because they are still under the impression that Tifnumbu is coming after them and is doing so much to lead Nigeria to a one-party state. Okay, that's their impression. And I can't completely fault them, all right? Because the drama between Werewike and PDP seems to about to go to the south right now. And with the surprise stunts that Fubara also pulled on Werewike, that is also generating its own conversation, by the way. And we're going to touch that this evening. So Bolaji Abdullahi continued and he said, the people who are joining Kolu, decamping to go and join APC, the governors especially, they lack, they actually lack characters, they lack credibility, they lack blah, 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 blah. Okay, in his own words.
Well, I mean, thank you very much. And I will start on the note that you ended your comment, which is that 2027 election appeared to have been won and lost, and that's exactly the mindset of inevitability that the ruling party would like to create a situation where